Good evening everybody, welcome to this little live stream. Hope you're all well. I'm going to go and crack straight on with doing this painting today. So basically, if you've seen some of my other live streams, I've been working on producing a big panoramic illustration of some sleepy bears. Hold on, if I just quickly change to my face camera. Like these. So yeah, this is the big panoramic bear canvas that I'm going to be working on today. So it's like a little illustration of some sleepy little slumber bears, or as I call them. They're basically just sleepy bears. I think they're actually grizzly bears. But yeah, I just want to carry on painting them, and hopefully I want to at least try and get this one painted and possibly this one painted, and then we'll see how we're going by this one. But yeah, I'm just going to gradually carry on working through these little bears, because then I then have to decide like what I've got to do with the background and whether I'm going to add flowers and leaves and stuff to it. But for now, I'm just going to focus on getting the bears painted. So in the last live stream that I've done, you would have seen me, hold on, let me do my magic trick with the cameras. Come on, weren't you doing it? There we go. So in the last live stream that I done, you would have seen me starting to paint this one. Well, not actually, no, actually in the last live stream I decided to randomly draw a cartoon armadillo. In the live stream before that, you would have seen me painting this little bear. So I do need to still carry on working on this bear a little bit. I've got to kind of work on the face a bit more. I've obviously got to paint the rest of the trees, and I think I need to kind of change the angle of this leg because it's looking a little bit too short, and then I might kind of work out a little bit how his paws are laying. And then hopefully I can then start working on these other bears. So I've got another little sleepy bear here to paint. But yeah, I think I'm just going to basically get on with it today and not try and talk too much. Let me just take a little sip of water. I do need to decide actually, just while I'm having a little sip of water, what I'm doing about this moon. In my head, I actually think I've done the moon too close to the bear. So what I might actually end up doing is kind of just leaving this bit like without a moon, and then when I've actually finished the illustration in Photoshop, what I could probably do is kind of do like a little extension to the painting at the top and then add the moon bit in. But we'll see how it comes along. I might change my mind about that. It's very indecisive when I'm first starting off doing an illustration. But yeah, I'm going to basically crack on with painting this little bear, I think. So let me pull up the reference photo. Luckily I went through and found them all again today. I did have a little bit of a nightmare in that, like my iPad ran out of charge the other day and it lost all of like the reference photos that I had. So I kind of panicked a bit because I've obviously all sketched out these bears and suddenly lost all the reference photos. But I managed to find the ones that I needed again, or like ones that are similar anyway. So let me just get out some paint. I'm going to get out some titanium white. I'm gonna have to try and squeeze it out of the tube because I'm gradually running out. I get through no end of white paint. It's actually ridiculous how much white paint I get through. But yeah, gonna just squeeze out some white paint. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this bear, then I'll probably go back to working on that bear, and then we'll move on further down hopefully. I want to try and get quite a bit of these bears actually painted today. So yeah, white acrylic paint already out. I'm going to need some yellow, because he's quite a, I think this one's a grizzly bear. So I'm going to definitely need some yellow, perhaps a little bit of brown. Actually, I might do a bit of orange. By the way, if you can hear some guitar music in the background, that's my dad practicing guitar upstairs. nice and chilled and relaxing actually. Although I'm going to have to put on some Spotify music in a minute. So I'm going to get a little bit of blue. Goodness me, how rude. And then might get out some of this, which is burnt sienna. One of my favourite art jokes, you have to be a bit of like a art geek to get it, is why does nobody know how to cook sienna? Because you either get burnt sienna or you get raw sienna. You never really get normal, properly cooked sienna. It's just a silly little art joke. It's probably not even that funny to be honest, but I think it's one of them clever jokes where I read it on line once and I was kind of like, yes, that's a good art joke. I like that one. It made me like chuckle a little bit. What else was I going to get out? Yeah, I need to get out nice and red. I'll go for, so I've got a permanent rose type of red, which is a bit more like a pinky type red, and then I've got a cadmium red, which is a bit more not pinky, it's a bit more orangey. Right, that's quite a lot of colours. I might add in a few more. Or have I got any black out? It's always handy to have a little bit of black out. Right, lovely. Let me just grab some water. I've been a bit naughty this week. I haven't washed out my paintbrushes, so they're all going to be a bit dirty, but I have got a new paint jar. So I'm just going to fill it up with some water. Right. Okay. Just move this up so we can see the bear. And we'll go from there. So one thing I have noticed is that I've sketched his head a bit wonky, so that's alright, we can correct that a little bit with some of the paint. That's far too yellow as well, but we'll again fix that. Better head shape wise. Oh, hello Ralphie. What are you doing, puppy? Hold on, let me just close the door. Try not to fall over all my paint boxes that I've got down on the floor. Too many boxes of paint and nowhere to put them. Right, anyway, let's start again. Where have my head? Oh, there they are. Right, So now I'm going to introduce a bit of like a light, I guess it's light gingery colour. Mix some of the burnt sienna with some of the orange. Okay. Add in some black to make it a bit more of a browny colour. It's quite dark around his eyes, so I'm gonna go quite dark, but I want to make that slightly less dark. I've gone a bit too dark. That's one thing I'm going to have to decide on when I'm painting this picture, is what kind of expressions I want the bears to have, because they're not like angry in the thing, but if it's more like for kind of a nursery type style art, then they need to have a bit of a gentler expression. I don't want them to be like cartoony, but just don't want them to like freak people out when they're on the wall. Trying to find a nice comfy place to actually rest when I'm painting this. I might have to move my trolley forward or me forward, either one. It's manageable for now, I guess. Do-do-bum-bum. Get his nose painted in. He's got like these little light yellowy white rings around his eyes as well. Make him look a little bit like he's wearing a mask. I'd quite like to do like a series of these little slumber illustrations where there's like a load of random animals just falling asleep on a tree. So obviously I've got bears at the moment, but I was like thinking the other day I could do like red pandas falling asleep on a tree, because obviously one of my favourite animals. I could also do like I don't know, normal pandas and tigers. That could look quite good, because then I could play around with like different types of leaves and stuff. So I'm quite decided what type of trees I'm going to actually draw these on, and like what leaves they have. I don't know if it really necessarily matters about being too realistic about the leaves and stuff, but I like there to be like a little bit of realism to what setting they're in. See, part of me wants to kind of just do like a load of hibiscus flowers. Are they the ones what I mean? I think I mean hibiscus flowers. But we'll focus on getting this painting done first before I start too many others. That's partly my trouble, is I tend to start too many things at once and then get confused about which one to carry on working on. Quick little sip of my tea. It's probably cold by now. Oh yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to go and stick that in the microwave or something. Okay. Rest of the head in. Definitely need to make the bit around his ear a bit darker. Like that. Let's get the eye painted in. I want to try and make it quite a, start off with a thin mark, gradually make it wider. What I want to do when I get some thinner brushes is I'll paint, or like a little dotting tool or something, I need to kind of paint some pupils and some light bits in for now, but just for now I'm just going to block out where it is in one colour. Okay. Trying to encourage myself to wash out my brush a bit more in between different colours, because I tend to get a bit lazy with washing out my paint brushes and then wonder why my painting looks muddy. Sometimes it helps to kind of leave a little bit of the last colour on your brush if you're like doing blending bits and stuff, but other times you do need to wash out your paintbrush. Okay. Definitely beginning to realise as I look at this picture that I've done this leg a little bit too short, but that's fine because we can extend that as we paint it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to extend his front paw a little bit. I'm going to mix up quite like a purpley colour to begin with for his front paw as well, because he's got a nice bit of purple in it. So yeah, it kind of comes a bit more like that downwards. Let's add in some darker colour to this bit. carry on some of this yellowy colour down. Gonna need to put a bit more white in actually. Let's extend it all the way down. That's a bit better, because he gradually looked like he was leaning a bit too forward at one point, like he was sliding down a tree. Okay. I'm going to try and introduce a few colours that aren't technically on the reference photo, but just kind of brightens up the painting a little bit. So I'm going to introduce a bit of pink, maybe a bit of purple. I think when I was when I started this painting in the last live stream, I was kind of explaining how sometimes I kind of put in bits of colour from the background and stuff, which I might do. I still haven't quite decided what I'm doing about the background yet, whether I want it to be set like fully at night time or a bit more at dusk. But when I come to paint the background, what I'll do is I'll probably put like pinks and maybe some greens and some blues and purples in, and then I'll kind of introduce that into the fur as well. So just so I don't get confused and give him like stupidly fat legs, I'm just going to paint over the bit which I've sketched out here and just get rid of it. And then I know that I've painted his leg as wide as I need it to be. I'm going to put a bit of blue into his paw down here. And let's put a bit of blackish in. Let's add a bit more black into these bits. I don't want to use too much black. I tend to try and avoid black a little bit when I'm painting. Let's get this other dangly paw painted in a bit more. Oh, hello. Is it Alex? Oh, I've got terrible eyesight. I can see your name, but it's very small on my screen. Hello. You have commented on many of my videos before, Alex. Thank you very much for commenting. Oh, I'm just going to make this a little bit darker. Going to add a bit like of a darker orange to this bit. Right, so it's now got a little paw. When I go back through and add more detail in, like at a later stage, I'll probably use like a really thin brush, and then yeah, just gradually adding like more bits of colour. At the moment I'm just kind of focusing on blocking out some of the shapes and focusing on trying to work out where like the dark and light bits are. Go and add in a bit more white to this bear. I think I'm gonna have to lift up his, like the top of his body a bit more, because I think that's what's kind of making him look a little bit like he was falling downwards rather than just slumping. So if I make him kind of have a bit more of a chunky body, then hopefully he won't quite look as though he's taken a tumble. Just move that bit up a bit, raise his bum up a little bit more. I need this kind of the top part of his body here to be very kind of white, because it will look like it's coming out, it look like it's in the same moonlight as the bear that I painted at the top of the canvas. Luckily it is quite like that on the reference photo anyway, so just help make the actual whole illustration make a bit more sense if the light source is coming from the same place. I am going to sneeze in a minute, I think, so just a quick warning, if you've got like headphones on, it'll probably be quite a loud sneeze. I tend to do very loud sneezes. The sleepy little slumber bear is coming along quite happily today. That's a Christmas song. I started humming there. Hold on, I just need to quickly do something on my phone. Quick little tea break whilst I'm sitting here doing something on my phone. Hold on, just quickly updating first. Social media that I'm on YouTube. Not gonna lie, very bad at social media, so it's kind of a miracle that I've managed to get the live stream to work. Hold on, I will be back painting in a second. I feel like I'm actually getting these bears painted in quite quickly at the moment. Sometimes I have a slow painting day, but I think today seems to be going quite fast because I've managed to get him painted in about, how long have we been doing it for? About half an hour. That's quite good going for me. Hold on, I really will get back to painting in a minute. Let me just... One more thing to do. Right, back at it. So let me just, so I need to paint his back leg in, so let's get doing that. So I need to mix up like a dark browny colour. And then he's got quite a dark patch just about before his paw, just under his, behind his knee, I guess that's what that bit is. And I need to make his foot a bit wider. Still need to decide what to do with the foot on the bear that I painted at the top, but what I might have to do is use like this reference and kind of make it up a little bit, because on the original reference the bear at the top's foot is covered up. Alright, let's give him a bit of a light coloured fur on his leg. And then this bit here is a bit darker, just about there. And then we're gonna lighten up some of this colour a bit more. Gonna add a bit of blue in. Okay. And then just realised I missed out a whole part of his body there. We'll go back to that in a minute. Got carried away painting his little foot. Make like a gingery orange colour. Okay. It's a bit better. There we go. That's the colour I wanted. Okay, let's add a bit more fluff into his leg. And then I mustn't forget to paint his belly. Just stuck my finger right in that paint there. Okay, I'm going to put a bit more white in. Probably still needs a little bit more white in. Put a bit of like a light blue in for his feet. That's it. They do tend to have like little blue patches on their feet. What I've noticed after painting several thousand bears. Yes. Painting his other eye. What do you want, Ralph? What? What's the matter? Hold on, I need to close the door. What's wrong, Ralph? Oh God, I'm gonna knock everything over. Ow. Right. Close my door again. Goodness me. I've got too much paint boxes on the floor. I keep falling over all of them. Right. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I was going to paint his nose. Okay, so let me mix up like a bluey black. I'm just going to block out most of it today. I'm not going to add too much detail in. That can come at a later date. I'm just going to just hint at what's there. Okay, let's add a bit more face underneath his mouth. And then we're just gonna hint at a bit of a mouth going on there. Bring his face down a bit. And then I need to add a bit more white fluff around this bit, or ginger fluff. And around his eyes. Just gonna add a bit more. I don't want to get too carried away adding fluff detail today, because I'll be doing it for ages if not, and I want to kind of just basically get most of the bears painted in properly, and then I can focus on adding detail at a later date. Yay! So that's that bear pretty much painted in. I'm just going to grab a slightly different brush, like a bigger one, and I'm just going to paint in a bit of the tree. So I'm going to mix up like a pinky, purpley, bluey colour, and then I'm going to lighten it with some white, and I'm just going to hint at where the tree goes. Again, I'm not really going to put too much detail into the tree today. I just want to paint it in just so I know it's there, basically. So nice big strokes. I'm going to add in a bit of like a bluey blacky browny colour. Okay, need to make sure that bit under his belly is quite dark. Something, what is that? Something gravelly on my paintbrush. It's probably where I was painting outside. As the branch comes away from the bear, I'm going to try and make it so it has a little bit of lightness on it, because again it needs to kind of have the same light source as the moon, or coming from the moon. Feels good to do a bit of painting today, because I'm not going to lie, I spent most of the day doing some knitting and I got very carried away. I got quite a few rows done actually on my big knitting project that I'm working on. I'm currently working on knitting a big blanket. But yeah, I was intending to do a bit more other work today, but I just got a bit carried away and in my own head. But then it is Sunday, so I'm allowed to have a sit in a knit. Sit in a knit. And a natter with my family. It's a very colourful branch. Suddenly got really hot again. It's chilled out, it calmed down like heat wise earlier, but yeah, it's gone really hot again. I'm not going to drink that tea again, it's still cold. I'll have to stick it in the microwave a bit. I would sip of water though. Right, let's get the rest of this branch painted in. I need to lighten up that bit so that you can tell what is foot and what is branch. going to start adding a bit of some of the colours that I've used in this bear into the top bear, because they don't necessarily need to be the same like everywhere, but I think they need to have like hints of the same colour in at least to make them cohesive across the whole painting. Just move this little palette out of the way so you can see the top bear a bit more. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I was going to do. I was going to sort out his feet, wasn't I? Oh no, oops, okay, that's alright, I'll dry and I'll fix that bit in a minute. So these top bits. Okay. Yes, I need to fix what I just messed up on his foot. Hold on. Okay, that's a bit better. I'm just going to finish off painting in this top branch, which I didn't do the other day. Still haven't really figured out what I'm doing with his foot there. I'm just painting a blob for now. Same with this leg. I definitely need to make it longer though, so that's what I'm just going to do in a minute. Not too much longer, but it just kind of, he looks a bit stumpy. A stumpy little bear, aren't you? Okay. Oh yeah, painting the rest of the branch. Paint it in. Oh god, I've got hiccups. Okay, just get a bit more of this branch painted in, and then we'll move on to the third bear in my little sleepy slumber bear illustration. I'm not worrying about adding too much detail onto these branches today. Okay. So I've got one sleepy slumber bear, two sleepy slumber bears. I obviously still need to work out what I'm doing with the background and whether I'm going to go dark or light or halfway in between, but I'm going to now paint this third little slumber bear. But to do that I'm going to have to shift some stuff around on my desk. Hold on a second. Move some stuff out of the way. Right, where is he? Here he be. My little sleepy slumber bear number 3. Okay, just get the reference up again. What was I doing? Move you up. Okay, let's get this third little sleepy slumber bear painted. Okay. So let me find the reference very quickly. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Come on. There he is. We found him. Okay, so he's got very similar colouring actually to the other bear that I started painting, to the second bear. So I'm going to mix up a bit of yellow and white with a bit of the burnt sienna colour. And I'm just going to go straight into painting his little leg here. I'm trying to work out where all the highlighty bits are on him first. So yeah, I'm just making sure that I map out where all this little bear's highlighty bits are. His nose is going to be very, very white compared to the rest of his body, but that's fine. We'll sort that out in a minute. This bit here is white, but it's like more of a bluey shade of white, so I've mixed in a bit of blue with the white. Okay, let me mix up a bit of a purpley colour again, just to work on his paws. It's a bit pinky than purple, just a bit more blue in it. Definitely had a habit of sketching out their paws too short. I think on the second bear, which I've just sat and painted, I probably still need to make his paws a little bit longer still. Don't know why I've got that song stuck in my head, but it appears to be on replay at the moment. Da, 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 da. Add a bit more white into this bit here. Let me get the rest of his head started. Obviously need to paint his nose in. just got to do quite a light bit here around his neck. Then that bit's dark and then this bit is light again. Darken up a little bit of his ear bit there. Bring his nose a bit more towards the audience. Okay. Ooh. Painting sleepy bears are making me feel sleepy. Mix up a blue and a white for the top of his nose. Again, when I come to do the detail layer, I'll pay a bit more attention to what's going on the noses, like all the little indents and stuff that you get, but for now it's just going to be a little blue blob. Made his nose slightly too wide, but that's fine, because what I'll do is I'll darken up around his face, bring his face in a bit, that's it, and then we'll bring a bit better. Definitely lost where his eye is, but we'll paint that in once that bit is dried out a bit more. Okay, so his face is looking a little bit blurry at the moment, but as I say, when I go in with like a thinner paintbrush, I can easily correct that, kind of put in some of his face details like his eyes and some bits around his chin and his stuff. Completely lost track of what I was saying there. Right. So add a bit more. Raise this bit up a bit more. And then raise the ear up a little bit more. I think the main issue is that I've actually drawn that ear in slightly the wrong place. It's slightly too wide. Okay. Probably need to stop fiddling with this bit for now and let it dry, and then I can work back into it again and work out what's gone a little bit AWOL with it. It's not like completely off, it's just a little bit, I think it's because it's just a bit muddy. So I'm just gonna let that bit just kind of sit. She says still touching it up. Right, okay, just let that bit sit and then I'll come back to it. I might need to like clean my brush and stuff. Yeah, I think that's sort of fixed it, what I just done there. Right, okay, I'm going to move on to doing the back of the bear. Okay. I've got paint on my glasses, I'm going to have to take them off in a minute and clean them. Got like a little splodge, I can just see it in the corner of my eye. I need to sit in a minute and figure out what other live streams I'm going to do this week. I'm trying to stick to Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. Although it is currently obviously school holidays at the moment, so they're kind of very independent on like if I'm looking after my nephews or just depending on what I'm basically doing each day. But I'm definitely trying to stick to Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. Just don't quite know what times at the moment. I did also want to do some like actual children's art lesson type things, but I think I might save that for perhaps October half term. Give me a bit more of a chance to figure them out and work out what lessons to do online. I'm really looking forward to autumn now though. Not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of summer weather. I like the idea of summer weather, but I just get so overheated really quickly. Although today's weather has been quite nice. It hasn't been too hot, but it also hasn't been like dull and miserable. Oh god, hiccups. Ugh. Do 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 bum 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 dum 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 dum. Da 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 da. Yeah, so now his face has dried out a little bit. Just kind of working on just slightly correcting some of the shapes on it. God knows why I keep singing Choo Choo Bang Bang. It's not Choo Choo Bang Bang either, it's Mary Poppins. Don't know why I keep singing it though. I haven't watched Mary Poppins for years. Still got a lot of work to do on his little face, but I'm just going to let it dry a little bit more, and then I'll probably need to get out some fresh paint and also wash my paintbrush, and then we will figure it out again. Just paint the rest of his little leg in. Right, so just going to wash out my paintbrush. I might change to a slightly thinner paintbrush as well. We're going to work on getting his face looking more like a bear, because at the moment he does not look like a bear. Let me just move it down so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so just lightening up this bit. Lovely. We're going to make his nose extrude out of his face a bit more. Mix up a bit of a brownier colour to go around this bit. And what I'm going to do is, I think his ears are very wrong, so I'm just going to mix up a blue colour, paint over this ear, and then we'll repaint it in a slightly better position. Just going to wait for that bit to dry though. It's really weird with painting sometimes. It's a bit like luck of the draw. Like that bear which I painted literally took about half an hour, maybe a bit longer, but it kind of like it figured itself out really quickly. Oh god, I've got hiccups still. And then but this bear that I'm painting here, I feel is going to take a bit of work. If I just keep plodding, hopefully he will appear, my little bear. Just going to do the same thing where I cover up his ear. It's definitely the ears that were slightly wrong. But I feel like as long as I put them in the correct place this time, it should be alright. And then I'm just gonna do this bit a bit thinner. And I'm just going to make sure that I make the ears a bit darker, now that I feel like they're slightly better positioned. Right, I think that is slightly better on the ear front. A bit of a darker brown just to the shoulder area. Keep on losing his ear to the shoulder. And then we're going to add a bit more white in. Okay. I'm actually going to completely paint over this bit, and then I'll repaint his nose back in a minute. Because I think I had his nose slightly in the wrong place. Gonna move this highlighty bit as well because that's definitely not in the right place at the moment. Make his ears look a bit pointier as well. So I'm going to bring the highlighty bit more here. Right, so how are we getting on with the other? So I've got this little bear who's looking alright. This little bear is looking okay, but I'm not 100% sure about the colour on him. But don't know whether to make him look more like the same colour as these bears. But I will figure that out eventually. For now I'm just going to carry on trying to chisel out this bear's face. That's a bit better. Darken this bit. His eyes more there. Looking a little bit muddy, but that's obviously because I need to wash my paintbrush out, but it's a bit more like the shape that I need rather than his face was a bit squished, I think. Now it's a little bit less squished. Right, let me wash out my paintbrush a bit more. And have a quick sip of water. going to stop fiddling with his face for a little bit, and I'm just going to move on to painting his little branch in, because I think what I need to do is just let his face dry out a little bit. It's got quite a lot of different layers of paint and stuff on it at the moment. Eventually I'll hopefully be able to go back in and refine the details on his face, but he's looking a little bit more bear-like. As I say, I think his face was just a little bit squished in. Right, anyway, so I've got a nice big flat brush. Just gonna work into painting the branch with a nice big flat brush. This might end up helping the shape of the bear actually. Okay. A bit more of his branch in. Right. Do I carry on fiddling with his face, or do I go down to do the last bear and then come back to sorting out his face at a later date? Because at the moment I don't really like how his face has turned out on this little bear. Still rescuable. I think it's just because the paint is quite muddy on it at the moment, where I have been lazy and not washed out my paintbrushes. Also, I think the eyes in slightly the wrong position. Hold on. Right. I've gone quiet because I've got to the point where I don't like this bear, but he's still rescuable. But I think what I probably need to do is kind of leave it for tonight. And work on it again another day, because that's what I found when I think what I like to do is kind of step away from it, and then I'll be able to kind of judge what bits I need to change and stuff like that. And I feel like if I keep on playing with it like what I'm doing at the moment, it's going to get to the point where I can't rescue it, and then I'll be grumpy because I'll have to start it all over again. But yeah, I think it's probably, I need to stop fiddling with it just for tonight. Just need to decide if I'm going to work on the other bear or if I'm going to completely just walk away from it for tonight. She says still kind of fiddling with it. It's definitely still rescuable, so I'm not like in an awful mood about it. It's just, it's a bit annoying because the first bear that I painted on this live stream today went really well. This bear not going quite so well, but it might just be that I need to step away from the painting for a little bit. and kind of let the stuff dry and the colours dry. Right, yeah, I'm gonna leave this little bear for now. And I think, to be honest, I'm going to finish this little live stream. But yeah. So yeah, that is probably going to be the end of this little painting live stream for this evening. I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a little bit, well, I've got hiccups and stuff, it's making me feel a bit sick. So I'm probably going to go and have a nice cup of tea, probably do a bit more knitting. I've got a bit of filming to do tonight as well before I go to bed. So yeah, I think I'm going to finish this live stream here. But yeah, made some decent progress on my little panoramic painting. So obviously that's the bear that I painted in the other live stream. That's this second bear, which he's coming out quite nice. And then the third bear, which isn't awful but also isn't great, but it's still rescuable. But yeah, I think I've got to a stage where I'm kind of had enough of painting on this painting for tonight. So, but yeah, for like an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes worth of painting, I'm quite pleased with that, and I feel like it's coming along quite nicely. So let me just show you completely what it looks like without my ginormous head in the way. Yeah, I might see if I can actually, let me just see if I can zoom out a bit. Oh no, I can't. Just have to leave it how it is. Right, so that's what it looks like, a little bit more zoomed out. Do you feel like it's coming along quite nicely? I've got some decisions to start making about what to do with the background and stuff, but yeah, quite pleased with how it's turning out. It's really oh god, I keep knocking things over. So yeah, that's a bit of the view of it from like a bit of a distance. Obviously I still haven't painted this little bear down here, but yeah, it's coming along alright, I think. And all painters go through like a little ugly stage, so I think it's not too bad. I just need to kind of step away from it and have a think about different things and see what I need to do to rescue the third bear and stuff like that. But yeah, made some decent progress there. So anyway, thank you. Let me just move this out of the way. Thank you all for watching. If you have popped by and had a bit of a meander at me painting, I am going to do another live stream on Tuesday if you'd like to come and join me. I haven't quite decided what I'm actually doing in that live stream, whether to carry on with this bear painting or whether to do something else, but I'll figure that out